So in this video I'm going to show you a method that I have devised in solving the last part, the orientation of the last couple of edges in the Roux method, specifically in the 3-edge cycle case, which I found to be the most difficult and generally is considered to be quite tricky case. Not because it is difficult to solve, but because it is difficult to recognize, and it can be kind of, there wasn't at least no proposed automatized way on how to do it, so you had to rely on intuition. And what I'm going to do is show you my method that I have just devised in the last couple of days for solving this case. And so what this case is, just to recap. So before all of that, let's say you just completed the CMLL, and then you have the arrow case, and you know how to solve the arrow case. Okay, so this is not the most efficient way probably, but okay, we have solved the arrow case, we have solved the left and right upper layer edges, and we end up with a situation like this. We have 3 edge pieces which need to be swapped, and we can either get something like this, or we can get an M2 rotation analog of this, which is the same thing basically, just looks a bit differently. And I had problems with this. First of all, okay, to tell you that I am not a good cuber by any means. I have just started learning Roux method recently, and I had problems with this part, so I found a way that made it a way easier than it used to be before. And why this method that I'm proposing is good is because it is kind of automated. One of the parts, you don't have to think, you don't have to do it by intuition, but you can just do really a small algorithm, and if you can even call it algorithm, but it's automated part where you don't have to think what you will do, and that's what makes this method easy for me, at least, why I like it. So yeah, regarding the disclaimer, also I don't know if this is new. Maybe this already exists, this method, but I mean, I have not found it anywhere, and it's not bad, because if I couldn't find it, then maybe this video will just help somebody who also couldn't find it, and maybe help them get to this method, and which will hopefully help them solve this case. And yeah, so I'm also not, as I said, I'm not the expert. I was cubing, I don't know, like more than 5 to 10 years ago, something like that. I was learning CFOP, and I learned PLL cases, and I was really slow, and I just gave up on it. And you can see this is my old cube from that time. This is Dian Guhong, which is, yeah, pretty old and pretty bad by today's standards. But anyway, without further ado, let's go straight into this. So you have this case which you want to solve. First, before we go on how we are going to solve it, I'm first gonna make you familiar with the nomenclature that I'm gonna be using. So all of these 4 different edges we are gonna call in different ways. So this first one, which is completely misplaced, which has, you can see, yellow sticker next to the white centers, and here red sticker next to the orange center, we are going to call this unique piece because it is completely displaced, so we call it unique piece. Okay, then if we go further down, we have this one of the 2 pieces, I mean, which are like this. One color is good, it has a orange sticker next to the orange center, which is good, but white sticker you can see is not good. And this we will call semi-solved because it is one part, let's say, solved, even though technically it's not in a good place, this edge, but we will call this semi-solved anyway. And I said there are two of these, and yeah, the other one is here. You can see this one is also semi-solved because yellow is good and orange is not. And then the fourth one is the completely solved piece. So yeah, you can see that it is in the exactly where it needs to be. So these four pieces, you have, as I said, you have one unique, you have one solved, and you have two semi-solved. And what is very important, what this method is based on, is the fact that the solved edge piece will always be adjacent to the unique piece. So okay, here you can see unique piece, and the solved piece is always right next to it, which means you can never have solved piece here but the unique piece all the way down there in the back. It's not possible. So this is important because this allows us to devise this method. What we want to do, we want to put both the unique, the solved piece, and the unique piece. We want to put them both either in the front or in the back. So, and how I'm gonna soon explain how we are gonna decide on which one. But okay, so here right now solved is in the front up, and it's in the front, and the unique is also in the front. So this is one of the possibilities, but we want to put them so that the unique piece is in the top layer. So this is not how we want it, and there is different possibilities if we just do an M2, and now we have the unique piece in the top, and we have the solved piece in the bottom, but they are both in the back. So that's what you want to do. And when you get to this, when you set this up, what you want to do, you are going to do this automatic step, which is what makes this method good. And that automatic step is U2 and then M prime or M. And I'm gonna show you soon how you decide. And also here in this particular case it was M prime, and then again U2. So there are basically two cases. So it's either U2 M prime U2, or it is U2 M U2. And in the end, after you finish that, the M slice might not be solved, so it just might be like this, for example, and you just fix it. And how you decide whether you should do U2 M prime or U2 M. So just the difference only is this M prime or M between the U2s. So how you decide on this? Well, okay, let me set this up again. So here, let's find first. Okay, so here we have the solved edge piece, and here we have the unique piece. So they are both in the front, and the unique piece is in the top. So that's what we want. So after we do the first U2, what we do now, we do if at the start of the algorithm. So yeah, let's go back before the U2. So if in the start of the algorithm both of them were in the front, that means you're going to do the M in the second step. While if both of them were in the back, in that case you would do M prime. And another way to memorize it is that you always want in the second step, after you do the U2 rotation, you want this solved piece, you don't want to put it in the top layer, you want to put it in the bottom layer. So in this case, M prime would put it in the top layer, so we don't do M prime, but we do M, and after that you just do U2 again. and then just fix the M slice if needed. Right now it's not needed. Okay, so regarding the recognition, you can also for this last piece, this M slice, you don't need to just solve everything and then you get something like this and then you are like, oh, I need to solve this M slice like this. You can also look ahead and plan on solving this M piece before you even while you are doing this automatic part. That's why automated parts are good, because while you are doing them you can look for something else, and let me show you exactly what I mean. So okay, let's say we have this scenario. Okay, I'm gonna turn the cube just randomly. Let's say we got this scenario after we solved our left and right top edges, and first, okay, we are going to find the unique piece and the adjacent solved piece. So okay, this piece is unique and this will be the solved piece. Okay, so what we do, we first do U2, which will be followed by M, in order to put the solved piece in the bottom and not in the top. So okay, U2 M, and now what you do? Now you are going to do U2 anyway, but while you are doing U2, you can already plan on what will need to happen with the rest of the cube. So right now I can see that after I do the U2, I will just need to do an M2 in the end to fix it. Why? Because, well, this red is next to the orange and they need to be opposite to each other, and also this yellow is next to the white. So we know that after we do the U2, which we need to do it automatically, we will have this case where we need to turn the M2 layer twice. So you can just turn this U2 and immediately proceed on turning M2 layer. So this will obviously you will get much faster after you get used to this, but this is just one thing you want to keep in mind. If you want to be faster, you want to plan in advance while you're doing this U2M, U2, you want to plan on, to look ahead on what will happen with the last M slice. And that's it for the method, but obviously for now you can see that, wait, well, is there a way on how I'm going to know where is my solved piece and where is my unique piece, other than having to, turn around the cube and things? Well, there is a way, and this is also, this recognition is also, I got inspired by this Kian Mansour's video. He's like a pro Roux cuber, and he also devised the method on how to do this 3-cycle case. But this video is already 5 years old, and I'm gonna link it in the description anyway if you wanna watch it. But I personally didn't like his method. I'm not gonna explain now what his method is, but anyway, I didn't like the fact that you were basically, anyway, you didn't have this automated part that you have in this. You had to basically also resort to some intuitive solving. I mean, maybe that's also not true, but anyway, I prefer this method to what he proposed. For myself, at least. For somebody else it might be different. But anyway, how we are going to do the recognition. So okay, so let's say this is what we this is going to be our case. So we are going to go a step back before we got to this, what we needed to do. Okay, so let's say we had gotten this. We were in the middle of inserting this green-blue edges in their place. So we needed to do this, and then we just need to do a U-turn, and we end up with this 3-cycle case. And the thing is, you want to start looking ahead before you do this the last U-turn, or sometimes it can be also U-prime. But let's say it was U, So what you only want to look for one thing. So when I say this, look ahead, don't get scared. This is pretty easy. You will get it you will not need a lot of time to get it. So the thing is, you want to look at this edge which goes to the back after this final U-turn. So basically, you see this. This is white-orange edge, and after you do the U-turn, you will see the white, but you will not see the orange anymore. So that's why you want to memorize it's the orange before you turn it, and that's the only thing you need to memorize. So okay, before you turn it, and then you turn it. Now we know it's orange, and the thing is, we have an orange center here, which means that our opposite center is red. And we know, we have seen that this sticker is orange, which means that this piece will not be completely solved. So it can, so it could either be unique or it could be semi-solved. But as you can see, because it's not unique, obviously because of the white sticker next to the white center, so this means that this piece is semi-solved, and you can just see and convince yourself that it is indeed the semi-solved piece. So after we have figured out this, the back top piece, we now see the front top piece, which we can see completely, and we can immediately see that it is semi-solved. And so what I told you you always have the semi-solved pieces are always adjacent, and then also you have unique and solved piece which are also adjacent. So this bottom one either has to be solved piece or unique piece. You can see immediately that it is not the solved piece because red and orange are not matching, so which means that this is a unique piece. And that also means that in the bottom, in the down layer back, you will have the solved piece. Let's just take a look and convince ourselves, okay, so this is the unique piece indeed, and this is the solved piece. So just by looking at these two, the thing is, just by knowing which the two top edges are, which kind they are, whether they are solved, unique or semi-solved, you will always be able to deduce what the ones in the lower layer are. And also by looking at the centerpiece here. And by now that, and yeah, you can trust me on that you will always be able to know, but you can always also try different cases, and you can convince yourself that always you will know just from this information. You will be able to figure out what the other pieces are with the logic as the same as what I have shown. So they are in the down layer, which means I need to put them either in back or in the front. I will put them in the front because I want the unique piece to be in the top, and then from here you just do the automatic U2 M-U2 while planning ahead on the last M turn, but in this case we didn't even need to do the last M turn because it just ended up solved. So that's all. I hope this wasn't too confusing. If it was, then I mean, I guess you can rewatch the confusing parts. But as I said, I have just devised this method recently, and I'm also not a good cuber. I mean, my average with this method would probably be pretty high still. But I mean, if this is not something complicated, even if it looks maybe on the first watch. If I can do it, then everybody, all of you guys can also do it. So, peace.